Here's something that took me years to learn, and I want to say it before anything else. The best technical product managers are not the ones who can build the most, they are the ones who can resist building for the longest. Let that sit for a second. We are trained to ship. We see a problem, our hands start moving toward a solution. And in the age of AI, where you can spin up a working prototype in an afternoon, that reflex has become more dangerous, not less. Because building has never been cheaper and building the wrong thing has never been faster. So today we are going to slow that reflex down on purpose. I'm going to walk you through a playbook for understanding the problem space so deeply that the solution almost designs itself. And we are going to do it with the AI tools sitting on your desk right now. Welcome to Product Mastery in the Age of AI and ChatGPT. I'm Madhumita Mantri, and this is the Technical PM Playbook. If you are a technical PM, or an engineer moving into product, or a founder who can code, this episode is built for you. You have a superpower. You can speak the language of the people who build, but that same superpower has a shadow side. It pulls you toward the how before you have earned the why. Over the next half hour, we will cover 5 things, and each one comes with a hands on, step by step guide for using a tool like ChatGPT or Gemini as a thinking partner. How to develop deep product thinking and get under the surface of features, how to sharpen your product sense to tell a winning idea from a shiny one, how to segment users by what actually drives them, not by demographics, how to map a real user journey and find the painful moments, and how to find the underserved segment that every competitor is quietly ignoring. Let me tell you about a pattern I have watched play out dozens of times. A team builds a feature that they are sure is brilliant. It is technically elegant. The demo gets applause. Everyone high fives. And then it launches and nothing happens. The usage charts stay flat. The team is confused because the thing works perfectly. The problem is that it works perfectly at solving a problem nobody was losing sleep over. This happens because of what I call the solution trap. As technical people, we fall in love with the elegance of an answer before we have fully understood the question. We confuse this is hard to build and we build it with this is valuable. A feature is a guess, a problem is a fact. Your job is to spend most of your energy on the facts so your guesses get dramatically better. Deep product thinking is the discipline of climbing down from the feature to the human need underneath it. And AI is genuinely excellent at this if you direct it well. Here's a technique I call problem laddering. Open ChatGPT or Gemini and give it a role and a constraint. For example, you are a skeptical product coach. I am going to describe a feature idea. Your job is not to praise it. Your job is to ask me why does the user actually want this 5 times in a row, going one level deeper each time, and to point out where my reasoning is thin. Describe your feature in plain language, the way you'd explain it to a friend. Let the AI run its 5 whys. Answer each one honestly. Usually, around the third or fourth why, you run out of confident answers. That gap is gold. That gap is the part of the problem you do not actually understand yet. Step 3, and this is the move most people skip. Ask the AI, based on the answers I gave, which of my assumptions are not yet supported by any evidence, and what questions should I ask a real user to test them? Now you've turned a brainstorm into a research plan. One caution: the AI does not know your users. It is a pattern completion engine, not a truth oracle. Everything it surfaces is a hypothesis to test with real humans, not a conclusion. Treat it like a sharp intern with a vivid imagination and zero field experience. Now, product sense. People treat this like a mystical gift you are either born with or not. I disagree completely. Product sense is just pattern recognition built from many cycles of predicting an outcome and then seeing what really happened. You can accelerate that. Here is a technique I call the steelman and the gravestone. When you have a few competing ideas, take each one to your AI partner and ask for two things. One, the steelman. Make the strongest possible case for why this idea succeeds wildly. What would have to be true? 2. The gravestone. Now write the post mortem from 2 years in the future explaining exactly why this idea died. Be specific and unsentimental. The steelman tells you the size of the prize, the gravestone tells you the real risks. An idea where the steelman is huge and the gravestone is full of risks you can actually control, that is a strong candidate. An idea where the gravestone is full of risks completely outside your control, that's a beautiful idea you should probably walk away from. Now, the second half, articulating value. A winning idea that you cannot explain is a losing idea in practice because you cannot get a team to follow you. Here is the prompt I love. Explain the value of this product in one sentence to a busy executive who only cares about outcomes. Then explain it again to a skeptical engineer who only cares about whether it's real. Then again to the actual end user in their own emotional language. Doing this with AI 100 times compresses what used to take a decade of shipped products. You are running cheap simulations of judgment, but remember, the simulation is just a warm up, and the real reps still come from launching things and watching what humans do. Let's talk about users. Most segmentation is lazy. We slice people by age, region, or job title because that data is easy to get. But two people with the same job title can want completely different things, and two people in totally different demographics can share the exact same need. The segmentation that matters is built on three layers: motivation, behavior, and jobs to be done. Motivation is why they show up. Behavior is what they actually do, not what they say. And the job to be done is the progress they are trying to make in their life, the thing they hire your product to accomplish. Prompt your AI tool. I am building a product in this space. Help me brainstorm distinct user segments, but do not segment by demographics. Segment by the underlying motivation that brings them here, the behavior pattern they show, and the core job they are trying to get done. For each segment, give it a memorable name based on the job, not the person. Instead of users aged 25 to 34, you get segments like the anxious optimizer who wants reassurance, they're on track, or the deadline driven dabbler who only engages when there's external pressure. Those names are useful. You can design for a feeling. You cannot design for an age bracket. Take whatever product you work on and ask your AI partner to list the top 5 jobs people might be hiring it to do, ranked by how emotionally urgent each one is. Then go ask 3 real users which one rings true. The gap between the AI's guess and the user's answer is your next week of learning. Once you know the segments and their jobs, you map the journey. Technical PMs have a blind spot here. We map the journey as the system sees it: sign up, configure, use, retain, clean. linear, completely fictional. Real human journeys are messy, emotional, and full of moments where people quietly give up. The pain points that matter most are rarely inside your product, they are in the space around it before someone arrives and after they leave. AI workflow, pick one segment and one job. Then prompt, walk me through this person's journey to get this job done, starting from the moment the need first appears in their life, long before they find any product, all the way through to after they've used something. At each step, describe what they are feeling and where they are most likely to get frustrated or quit. Mark the single most painful moment. That phrase before they find any product is the unlock. Most teams start the map at sign up. The richest pain points are upstream. In the moment the person first realizes they have a problem and doesn't know what to do about it. Your exercise. Map one journey this week and force yourself to write 3 steps that happen before your product enters the picture. That's where your next big idea is hiding. Now, the payoff. Everything so far has been set up for this, finding the segment that everyone else is ignoring. Big competitors optimize for the biggest, most obvious group because that's where the easy growth is, which means they systematically neglect smaller groups whose job to be done is real but doesn't fit the mainstream product. Here's the AI technique I call the negative space map. Prompt, list the main existing solutions in this space, and for each, describe who they are clearly designed for. Then tell me which groups have a real urgent job to be done in this space but are poorly served or completely ignored by all of these solutions. For each ignored group, explain why incumbents rationally choose not to serve them. That last part is crucial. Sometimes a segment is ignored because serving them is genuinely unprofitable, and that's a trap. But sometimes they are ignored only because they are small today, or awkward to reach, or simply invisible to teams that look like their existing customers. Those are the openings. Imagine a whole category of productivity tools, all designed for confident power users who love customizing everything. Run the negative space map and you find a large, quiet group. People who are overwhelmed by choice and want the tool to just decide for them. Every incumbent ignores them because power users are louder and customization demos better. But the overwhelmed majority has an urgent, unmet job. Reduce my anxiety, don't add to it. A product built for them, opinionated, simple, calm, can win an enormous audience the incumbents never even saw. That is the underserved segment strategy. Let's bring it home. The technical PM's edge is not in building faster, it's in understanding deeper and then building the right thing fast. 5 moves. Ladder down from features to the real need. Pressure test ideas with a steelman and a gravestone. Segment by motivation, behavior, and the job to be done. Never demographics alone. Map the journey from before the product appears and hunt for the segment everyone else ignores. And through all of it, use your AI tools as a relentless thinking partner, but never as a substitute for talking to a real human. The tool generates hypotheses, people give you truth. Here is your challenge for this week. Pick one product you care about, run the problem laddering exercise and the negative space map, Write down the one underserved job to be done you uncover. Then go have one real conversation with someone who lives that job. That single loop, AI hypothesis to human reality, is the entire playbook in miniature. If this was useful, the best thing you can do is try one technique today while it's fresh and share what you found with someone on your team. That's how product sense spreads. This has been Product Mastery in the age of AI and ChatGPT. The full playbook and the written guides from this episode are in the companion newsletter linked in the show notes. Keep questioning the solution. Go find the problem worth solving. I'll see you in the next one.